Like anybody, I would like to live a long life. Long, not concerned about that now. I just want to do God's will. And He's allowed me to go up to the mountain. And I've looked over and I've seen the price. I made that with you. But I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land.
Wow. I mean, Dr. King, that speech always gets me in my feels, especially when we recognize the time frame of when it happened and what happened the very next day. Uh, for I think most of you probably already know this. He was killed the very next day. So let me start this off by saying Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh, and that means the pure belong to God, and it is to God that they owe all their victories. I'm Diary of a Singh, and this is my multi-part series called "The Gift, a Gift of Martyrdom." And what do I mean by the gift of martyrdom? Well, I think there's many different ways to take that, but Dr. King, in this prophetic speech, he recognized that the things he was doing were going to put him on a collision course with the oppressors. They don't like that message, especially if they're actively engaging in oppression and they need that oppression to continue to privilege a subsect of society or to have certain economic control over the oppressed group. Then you are going to be encouraged to stick your head in the sand and keep your head down and keep a low profile. But what type of dignity and what type of life is that one should lead? And Dr. King, he recognized the danger of speaking out against that oppression in a white supremacist society. As a black man, speaking out against that oppression and literally shining a mirror to society and showcasing that he and his oppressed African American community were not the savages, they were not the brutes that the white supremacist society made them out to be. They just had to think of them that way, dehumanize them in that way in order to make sure that the project of supremacy was able to reign. So one of the reasons that I wanted to do this little mini series is because there's many revolutionaries all over the world. And in fact, Dr. King himself connected the African American struggle to the independence movement in India. He connected it to the American imperialist military operations in Vietnam. He connected to all other global struggles as well within the African continent. He even connected it to the struggles in Palestine as well at one point. So I think that when we actually discuss all of these things and we know what is happening in the world right now, I have no doubt that Dr. King, were he alive today, would have quite a bit to say about America's involvement in the slaughter of Palestinians in the genocide of Gaza. So Dr. King, he laid it out there that he did not choose death. He chose to live a life of dignity, a life that liberated his people, a life that he could be proud of, a life that uh, recognized what God wanted us to do for all of God's children, regardless of who they are. God stands with the oppressed. And that's what Dr. King was trying to push forward. So I want to play the entire speech. It was his final speech, and we will see what happens after as well. So give me a second. Let me.
what we say to America is be true to what you said on paper. If I lived in China or even Russia or any totalitarian country, some of these illegal injunctions, maybe I could understand the denial of certain basic First Amendment privileges because they haven't committed themselves to that over there. But somewhere I read of the freedom of assembly. Somewhere I read of the freedom of speech. Somewhere I read of the freedom of press. Some the right to protest far right. And so just as I say we aren't going to let any dogs or water hoses turn us around, we aren't going to let any injunction turn us around. Well, I don't know what will happen now. We've got some difficult days ahead. But it really doesn't matter with me now. Because like anybody, I would like to live a long life. Longevity has its place. But I'm not concerned about that now. I just want to do God's will. And He's allowed me to go up to the mountain. And I've looked over and I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land. So I'm happy tonight. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord.
This is a CBS News special report.
Dan Rather reporting for CBS News from New York. The Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. was shot to death by an assassin late today as he stood on a balcony in Memphis, Tennessee. Dr. King had planned to lead another civil rights march in Memphis next Monday. We got the latest on the story now from Russ Hodge.
Yeah. They killed him, but they didn't kill his message. And when I think about the pathway of my family's immigration to America and the pathway for a lot of Asian immigration to America, it doesn't come without the blood, sweat, and tears of the Civil Rights Act. It doesn't come without the martyrdom, the gift that Dr. King gave to the South Asian community, in addition to the Black community, in addition to all Americans. And so what I'm here to discuss in this series is that we fight the good fight, and when revolutionaries lose their lives, they don't lose the war. They might lose that battle. And I don't even view it as a loss because Dr. King and his message still reverberates today. And he connected everything with various other struggles as well. So that's what I want to discuss. And some of these revolutionaries are going to be killed. Some of these revolutionaries were imprisoned. But we have people like Nelson Mandela that saw the light. We have people like Marwan Barghouti who, God willing, inshallah, or Waheguru da Hukum, he is able to move forward and he's able to be released. Then we have revolutionaries like Jaswant Singh Galra, who was also killed for the basic dignity that they tried to provide for their oppressed peoples. So that's what we're talking about here, because you can kill a messenger, you can't kill a message. And one of the things I would like to encourage people, especially in this moment when we see the genocide of Gaza and we see the strife of what American empire has been doing to the Palestinian people for nearly 8 decades in various forms, leading to the current genocide. We must stand together and we must not allow uh, any more revolutionaries to go without their crew. We must join these battles as hard as it is. And we can't fear the violence that the oppressor is going to enact on us. The actions that they do will one day be deemed illegal. They have the power of the law on their side because their laws are immoral. The laws that exist in Palestine to oppress the Palestinian people and to deny them statehood, to deny them personhood, those are immoral and those are illegal by the laws of nature, the laws of God. And so that's what I want to discuss here, so that we continue to make sure that these messengers, these revolutionaries, that their deaths do not go in vain and that we continue their battle. So Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.